good evening and welcome to the second in our series of songwriter showcases. And I promise you, you are not going to be disappointed that you tuned in for this show. We're at the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center, the world's only Tina Turner Museum, and probably West Tennessee's best kept secret. Off of exit 56 on I-40, West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center is, well, as I said, the Tina Turner Museum, but so much more. There's Cotton Museum, there's the Hatchie Museum, there's blues music, there's the Flag School, there's Sleepy John Estes' home is here. So many things. And there's entertainment. And the entertainment sometimes is live, sometimes it's social media live. That's what we're doing today. And Dutch Vanderpool, he's Clark Vanderpool is his name, but to his friends, which we are fast becoming, he's Dutch. And Dutch is joining us. Dutch, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Glad to have you here. Let's just get right into it and talk about you as a songwriter. When did you start writing? When did you feel the urge to start writing songs? When did you feel like, I got something I got to get out there?
Well, I started writing pretty much as soon as I learned about 3 chords on the guitar, back when I was about 18. A friend had an old guitar. I play left-handed, obviously, so I couldn't just pick up somebody's guitar, but he had an old one. He wasn't using it anymore, so we flipped the strings around. He taught me a few chords. And I started playing, whatever I could play, but also just writing things, writing songs.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really, most of those first songs I don't even remember, might have some lyrics written down somewhere, but really started seriously the process probably in the 90s. I'm not a real serious guitar player, singer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play around and I'll put the guitar down for a few months and pick it back up. But I always enjoy writing when I do play. I like to play my songs because I don't play well enough to play anybody else's songs. Kind of. But writing has always been kind of just went with the guitar playing.
You used a word that I think prospective songwriters need to hear, and we need to talk about, and maybe we can even do on one of these upcoming series, get someone to talk about, and that's the process of songwriting. There is an art to songwriting, and there's a talent to it, and that cannot be understated or underappreciated. Or overappreciated too much. There is an art to it, but there's a process. There are rules to follow that you put songs together with. It's not just sitting down and do that. So, did you pick that process up from other writers? Did you pick it up from other songs? What'd you do?
A little bit of both. I'm still learning the process. There's so much to it, but listening to what I consider really good songs by other songwriters, learning just kind of the fundamentals of chorus and pre-chorus and bridge and rhyming patterns and line lengths and those kind of things to kind of see how they would make a song better. And then I've always been really impressed just with with lyrics more than the music. You have to have music to sing the lyrics, but songs that have just really good word pictures, convey meaning with a few words. John Hyatt, just thinking about it, he's got a song, Adios to California, and just one little phrase in that song just kind of stuck with me. It's 2 cigarettes from a package gone, must have thought about it just that long. And that just sets your mind thinking about that scene of, what was going on, and but things like that. But it's a continuing process. I'm still learning.
And you've got some songs that you brought with you today. What's
I
the
do.
first one we're going to hear?
The first one is called The Key to Happiness. And I wrote this on a plane, started it on a plane to Alaska to visit my son when he was working up there a few years ago in a fishing lodge. And the idea just came to me on the airplane, which has nothing to do with the airplane. And I was able to, fortunately a friend of his up there that he worked with had a left-handed guitar. So I was able to sit down while I was in the fish shack that we were staying in and kind of worked out the song. It's just kind of about a guy's just a little bit unlucky in love, called Key to Happiness.
Okay, let's hear it. Dutch, Key to Happiness.
Took her for a ride in my Cadillac. She got out at the drugstore, never came back. I waited for hours for her to come back through that door. Oh, the key to happiness don't fit my heart anymore. I tried to find the words to tell her how I feel. I wrote it in a letter and put it in the mail. It came back unopened. Found it lying on the floor. Oh, the key to happiness don't fit my heart anymore. Oh, the ways of a woman are hard to foresee. You think she means one thing when actually it's another. Brother, I've been there before. Now the key to happiness don't fit my heart anymore. Love ain't hard to find, but it sure is hard to keep. I get so tired of sowing when I never get to reap the fruits of my labor. You know that's all I'm trying for. Oh, the key to happiness don't fit my heart anymore. Oh, the ways of a woman are hard to foresee. You think she means one thing when actually it's another. Brother, I've been there before. Now the key to happiness don't fit my heart anymore. No, the key to happiness don't fit my heart anymore.
Dutch, Vanderpool, and the Key to Happiness. I want to find out about your social media and where people can listen and find out more about that. Where you're listening to is from the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center, and we're glad to be here for this Songwriter Showcase, reaching out to songwriters around West Tennessee, an area that there's a Delta, there's what I call a Delta mojo, and there's just something about West Tennessee, this part of that music triangle, and what goes on right here that is not duplicated. It is often imitated, but it has never been duplicated anywhere else. And these are up and coming songwriters. These are songwriters that are just starting, songwriters that have been writing for a while. And before we leave, we'll tell you how to reach out and if you want to be a part of this and what's going on here. The website, if you want to find out more about the museum, is westtnheritage.com. westtnheritage.com. You were born and grew up in a small town in Kansas.
Right.
Galena, Kansas.
Galena, Kansas, southeast
Okay.
corner.
Right, because I know that we're big in Galena, Kansas as well. We want to give a shout out to your hometown. Tell me about the people of Galena, Kansas.
Well, it's a small town. It was a lead mining boom town in the late 1800s through about World War II. It was just kind of a rough and tumble mining town. When that ended, there's not much industry. It's just kind of a small town. It's actually on Route 66, which is it's one of its claims to fame. Just a stone's throw from the Missouri border.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in what they call the gateway to the Ozarks. It's right down in the corner of the state. So, but the people, there's a lot of agriculture. Just
What was the entertainment in Galena?
uh,
Where did you go for the entertainment if you were in Galena, maybe?
Joplin was the biggest city across the state line. They had most of the concerts or things like that.
What age did you get away from there?
Left when I joined the Navy in '71,
Okay.
and then finished my tour in Millington, stayed here in Tennessee after that.
Okay. I guess what I'm trying to get at is what musically, was there something growing up? Were there writers? Was there music? Was there something? A lot of people look at a guitar and I'm one of them. I've picked one up and realized pretty soon, in short order, that I was not going to be very good at it. I would be okay, but not really good at it. So, what about it when you saw that? What was inspiring to you?
Well, my introduction into music, I guess, was I sang in a little rock and roll band in high school. I didn't know how to play guitar yet.
See, Sonny, now we're getting to it.
Yeah. And
I knew it was there somewhere.
somehow, their singer got sick or moved away. I don't know, something. And they were, what are we going to do? Well, let's ask him. And so I was able to sing. We did that for a while. So there was that musical influence early on. Other than that, just learning to play and then just listening to, the guitar playing singers of the day, records and those kind of things.
Got another song for us?
I do. This one, actually I just wrote. This is the first time I've played it publicly,
Okay.
so it's a little scary. And it's about that time back in Galena when I got my first car. Little literary license in the song, but it's pretty much about my first car, which was a 54. It's called My 54.
Okay.
I was 16 and had a job at the store, bagging groceries and sweeping the floor. After school until they bolted the door, saving for my first set of wheels. It was '68, there was a draft for the war. I knew a fella who was joining the Corps. He had a Chevrolet, an old 54. He said, $60, I'll make you a deal. Dragging Maine on a Saturday night, it was the small town way. Arm out the window, doing it right, and it was come what may, in my 54 Chevrolet. Straight grade 6 with 3 on the tree. A set of white walls I picked up for free. A little bondo where a dent used to be. We cruise around wherever we like. The steering wheel took some muscle to turn. A solid ton and a half stem to stern. And on the back seat was a cigarette burn where Leroy dropped his lucky strike. Dragging Maine on a Saturday night, it was a small town way. Arm out the window and doing it right, and it was come what may in my 54 Chevrolet. The ride was rougher back in the day, but I never lost my way in my 54 Chevrolet. I went to see Uncle Sam. He was asking us to lend him a hand. Some of my buddies headed to Vietnam. Back then it didn't seem so real. Next day I made a stop at the store. A scrawny kid was stacking cans by the door. I saw him checking out my old 54. I said, $60, I'll make you a deal. Dragging Maine on a Saturday night, it was the small town way. I'm out the window doing it right, and it was come what may in my 54 Chevrolet. Man alive, I love to drive that 54 Chevrolet.
Clark Vanderpool and 54 Chevrolet. I remember that car. Mine was a 61 Chevy Impala. It was three-tone. It was white, blue, and rust. And the rust was real. You are, in addition to being a songwriter, I guess you're a Renaissance artist because you also are an author.
Okay.
Okay. You've written some books.
I've written some novels. I've got 3 kind of mystery action novels. The main character is kind of a unique investigator that lives in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So a rare book dealer, does some investigations, kind of rough and tumble. So yeah.
Okay.
I've done that.
Was this an inspiration that just couldn't go in song but had to be expressed in some way? It's like, okay, this story is longer than 3 minutes and 8 seconds. I've got to do something with this.
Right. Yeah. It was always a desire of mine to write a book. I mean, way back when, just writing songs, poems, books, whatever was always a desire of mine. So had an opportunity to kind of focus on that when I became unemployed back several years ago for a while. So I just kind of poured myself into that and wrote the first one, and then was able to kind of follow up with that. But so it was an idea that had been, it's actually part of it takes place back in Galena. Everything goes back to Galena. Mm-hmm. But it's a good mystery and kind of a historical aspect to it too.
In Galena, there wasn't, that time there wasn't much listening to social media or following that. That didn't come along, obviously, for all of us until much later. But now it's a big part of our lives. Do you have a social media presence? Do you have a Facebook page? How can people watching find out more about Clark Vanderpool?
I do have a Facebook page, Clark G. Vanderpool, which is how is my author name on my books. It has more of the, it has some videos of my songs, which are also on, I have a YouTube channel, Dutch Vanderpool, which I just post some videos of my songs, and some information about my books on the Facebook page. I don't do just a ton of it, but it's there.
But it's there. Okay, and the music is there.
Mm-hmm.
You said something that I've heard from writers before, and and that is that writers just have to write. I'll just like there are musicians that I just want to play. I'll play for 10 people. I'll play for 10,000 people. I'll play for myself. It doesn't matter. Is that where you come down?
It is. I won't say that I'm that aggressive. I have probably an above average amount of laziness on the subject, but I do. Once I get started, I always say the hardest thing about writing is the two hardest things are getting started and then getting stopped. And once you get started, it's if you've got someplace to go, whether it's a book or a song or whatever, it does kind of consume you.
You got a song called "Rhyme Without Reason."
Rhyme without reason.
And that's an interesting. I'm already curious about this. What's the story behind "Rhyme Without Reason"?
Well, it's. I'm not sure exactly where I picked the idea up, but it's about the contradictory, the conflicting feelings of love. You know, a wise man once said, "The heart is the engine of contradiction." Actually, I just made that up, but anyway.
I thought you might be that wise man.
Leave the wise part out. But it's so, you know, when you're in love, you have feelings like hot and cold at the same time, and that's kind of what this is about. That paradox of love kind of things.
Dutch Vanderpool, "Rhyme Without Reason."
It's a sure thing, it's a bad bet, most impossible feeling I've ever felt yet. The first glimmer, the last glance, all the senseless sensations in a beautiful dance. It's a calm sea, it's a desert storm. What was always familiar takes a whole different form. The hours fly, the minutes crawl. Time means everything and means nothing at all. Some days bring the sunshine, some days bring the rain. Every day brings the nighttime and the dance starts again. Spinning round on a feeling crazy and blue, like a rhyme without reason. Every time that I'm thinking of you. It's a hard road, it's a garden lane, the soft rose petals and the sharp thorns pain. It's a sweet dream in a cold sweat, a hot blinding fire and a simple sunset. Some days bring the sunshine, some days bring the rain. Every day brings the nighttime and the dance starts again. Spinning round on a feeling crazy and blue, like a rhyme without reason. Every time that I'm thinking of you. Some days bring the sunshine, some days bring the rain. Every day brings the nighttime and the dance starts again. Spinning round on a feeling crazy and blue, like a rhyme without reason every time that I'm thinking of you. Thinking of you. Always thinking of you.
Dutch Vanderpool, Clark G. Vanderpool is the Facebook page, and you can find his music there. You can find information about his books, and just stay in touch. Get on board and like his page and follow it. And while you're doing that, also go ahead and like the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center Facebook page if you don't already. Like that. Comment on this series. Share it with other people. Let others know that we're doing this. This is on Thursday. This is going to be every Thursday night. We started this last Thursday. A lot of views for that. Just getting started, so really proud of the way that's doing. And then also, make it a point to come to. Just make time to take the time to come to the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center, the world's only Tina Turner Museum. And so, Dutch, when and I love that song. Great song.
Thank you.
Do you correspond with, do you stay in touch with other writers?
A couple, but not real regularly. But
Do you like writing alone, or have you written collaboratively?
I actually have not collaborated. I'm not sure why, but pretty much everything. I have a son who writes a little bit too, and I've collaborated with him on a couple of songs, but pretty much just on my own.
In the time that you've been writing, what do you feel like, or have you found anything that's missing that you would like to see that would help writers either bring more collaborative writing, help individual writers, that kind of thing? There's something that you've needed that you said, wow, why doesn't this exist? I don't know. Or it's been harder to find?
I guess
Like places
writers,
to showcase their
yeah,
music
these
and things
showcases, roundtables like we've done here before. We get with other writers, songwriters, and play. Everybody plays their own songs, and you get to interact with them on that.
Mm-hmm.
There are songwriter groups, but there aren't any like really close to where I am. But those I think are really helpful.
Who's your biggest cheerleader?
I guess probably my wife. Or maybe
See, I really made that one tough for him there. That it's like she's gonna watch this.
Yeah, so that's
So her.
so her.
Okay, besides your wife.
I think I have 3 sons, and they all support me quite a bit. One of them, as I said, kind of writes and plays also, and another one is actually a sound engineer who's been on tour with other groups and does sound and has a studio in his basement in the state of Washington. It's not really close, but they've been really supportive.
Got another song for us, the old guitar. You mentioned that you picked up an old guitar several times. You have mentioned that. So what's the story behind Old Guitar?
Well, this old guitar is a song I wrote when I was feeling a little introspective, I guess, a few years ago. It's about an old songwriter and his guitar. So I don't know where that came up with that idea, but that's what it's about. Just somebody who does what we're talking about, just likes to sing and play because that's what he wants to do.
Let's see what you've done with it. Dutch Vanderpool, Old Guitar.
I bang the strings on this old guitar for more years than I care to say. It keeps me close, takes me far. Today gets lost in yesterday. when I sit down and play this old guitar. I strum out songs that I've scratched down and let the words float on the tune. And as the story comes around, I watch the eyes across the room when I sit down and play this old guitar. It's nothing fancy, well, neither am I, but all the scars on both of us are forgotten for a while when I sit down and play this old guitar. I don't seem to remember now some of the memories I have caught, but all these years have taught me how to make the most of what I've got when I sit down and play this old guitar. My fingers fail me now and then, my voice won't ever win awards, but singing takes me where I've been, and songs are more than words and chords when I sit down and play this old guitar. It's nothing fancy, well, neither am I, but all the scars on both of us are forgotten for a while when I sit down and play this old guitar. I don't care who stays to listen, don't care if tips fall in my jar. Just wanna sit right here and play this old guitar.
If you know him, he's Dutch Vanderpool. If you're just meeting him or looking up his music, his books, several novels, mystery novels, it's Clark G. Vanderpool. And mainly is a guy that just likes to put music and words together and likes to create something. Mm-hmm. And you do a great job. And I've enjoyed getting to know
Thank
you. And I think every one of us have. And appreciate you being here. And you've got a song to play us out with, I think called Happy to Be Here.
Happy to be here today. I actually wrote this one for a songwriter roundtable that we did here about a year and a half ago or so.
Now he's going to show off.
Well, I don't really play harmonica, but a friend told me that if I would play it, it might distract people from my singing. So
Dutch Vanderpool, it's great to meet you, and I hope we get together again and get you back over here for the guitar rounds and songwriter rounds and other things. He's going to play us out. I'm going to tell you that this is the Songwriter Showcase, West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center. Thank you to Sonia Outlaw Clark and everyone for helping to put this together. Find out more, you go to westtnheritage.com. And if you will, sir, play us out.
all right. Sometimes I think about the places I've been. Sometimes those memories push me away. It's not a question, but I'd do it again. I'm happy just to be here today. The past is gone, the future's uncertain. Well, ain't that just what some people say? Sure. happened that